I'm talking to Tricia Barnet from Tourism Concern. Tell me, Trish, what do you think of today?
It's interesting that we divided up into groups to discuss really important issues about how tourism can generally be sustainable in details and in ways that we would never normally think about. And today was around food security. So actually going into the groups and having really intense discussions about how the tourism industry can actually enable food security to work better was very, very powerful, because the operators have a very important role to play, but so does the Travel Foundation. So, for example, I believe the Travel Foundation can help on food security by enabling our Prime Minister, who's very supportive of development institutes, to understand how the APD tax is going to affect local people.
Do you think APD is a good thing or a bad thing?
I think APD is clearly not good, because the money is not going into the government coffers that are supporting sustainable development in any way, shape or form. The money is simply going into development, into the government coffers, and it's going to put people off from travelling, which will affect places like the Caribbean enormously.
So as far as you're concerned, APD is a complete negative.
APD is a complete negative.
And as far as the travel industry is concerned, are you optimistic now, as far as the future is concerned, of tourism, ethical tourism, etc.?
I'd love to be optimistic about the tourism industry, but what we have here today at the Travel Foundation is a small, tiny fraction of the amount of operators that are sending people abroad, especially to developing countries. So we've got a tiny fraction of the operators here. It's important that they're doing something, but in a sense they're not doing anything to mitigate the foundations of the disparity between our wealth and the poverty of poor countries. What we do very often is sticking plaster on problems.
One of the things that I must congratulate you on is the Ethical Travel Guide, which was just published for the second time, I think, isn't it? It's getting a much bigger publication, and it really is doing something to help people's attitudes towards ethical tourism, sustainable tourism, responsible tourism, whatever you like to call it. I'm sure that you feel that is a real success, isn't it?
The Ethical Travel Guide is a genuine success. The first edition was a bestseller for its publishers, and it's really important that it's sold not just in bookshops where anybody can get hold of it, but through Oxfam, through Amnesty, through New Internationalist. And it's for people who want to have a holiday where they know their money is directly benefiting local people. And what is amazing is between the first edition and the second edition, there's hundreds of more groups around the world who've worked out for themselves, nothing to do necessarily with an NGO coming in, although that is sometimes the case, that they can benefit better from tourism if they develop somewhere that tourists would like to come to. It could be a hotel, it could be a lodge, it could be a campsite, it could even be a day tour. But the money from the tourists will come directly into their pockets, their communities will benefit. It's quite brilliant, this growth of a sort of global alternative movement.
Fair trade tourism, is that on the cards?
Fair trade tourism has been a tough call. I can't pretend otherwise. How tourism fits into the fair trade label is something Tourism Concern's been trying to do, but we're coming to the point where we realise that the fair trade label needs to fit into tourism for it to work in a better, more pragmatic way.
So you're pretty optimistic about the future, no?
Yeah, we're working towards there being a fair trade tourism market, because it's something that consumers really do understand nowadays. Certainly in the UK, where the Fair Trade Foundation is saying that more than 70% of households have a fair trade product in their homes at the moment. So it's something we really want to buy into, because we think that tourism should be fairly traded, because at the moment it certainly isn't.
That's great. Thank you very much.